Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. As always, busy program lined up today. Among the guests, Jeff Sealey in 30 minutes. Best bets at the Farmers Insurance, which begins tomorrow. Sal Palantonio with a Hall of Fame vote. We will talk to him about that and what happened to Belichick yesterday. Mike Palm on the program. Steve Wiss, Best Bets in Soccer. Matt Humans as well. A little bit later on, we'll get into tonight's Hoops card, additional bets that we have made on the Super Bowl. But we definitely have to begin with the Giannis news. Pauly, the biggest news going right now in sports is that he didn't demand a trade, but he's ready for a new home. Did you like the language and how that message was delivered? I never saw the word trade involved coming out of his side, his team. It was looking for a new home.
Yeah, Shams did that a couple months ago with the same wording, same type of deal where he's ready to move on. It's interesting the differences in numbers from DraftKings to offshore books. Like OKC is 70-1 at DraftKings. They're 10-1 offshore. Mm-hmm. If they want to go for this, and maybe because they have so much to offer, the longest shot should be like the Wizards and the Mavs and these type of teams, not the Thunder, who actually could give up the most. And there's also a difference. It's like Miami is 6-1 at DraftKings. They're 12-1 offshore. I think the Heat can do this.
Sure they can. Brad from Arizona chiming in earlier today. He got down in Oklahoma City at 70-1. Now it's phrased differently at DraftKings. It's actually phrased like this: the next regular season minute played after the trade deadline. So they don't have to trade him right now. And I'll give you an example why. The Knicks, this is according to, immediate feedback that people were out there, like NBA people were saying the Knicks and the Heat are probably the two front runners. However, the Bucks can get more if they wait until the offseason. The example of that would be the Miami Heat, according to somebody who covers the salary cap, tracks it for a living, said the Heat can trade 2 first-round picks, but 4 in the offseason. The Knicks can trade 0 right now, but up to 2 in the offseason. So the Bucks, when they are going to be, having these conversations, they probably need to be as patient as possible, which goes against everything that you're about because you're the most impatient person in the world.
Yeah, I would wait, though.
And I'll pull back the curtain here a little bit. Our technical director here, Andrew, is from Milwaukee, lifelong Bucks fan. You have been riding him relentlessly every single day for how long, Andrew, now? Like 8 months?
Yeah.
It's going to happen, Andrew. They're going to get rid of Giannis, and every day he's like, Pauly, please shut up. And now you finally got your wish.
Yeah, he gave in. He caved. He knows it's going to happen. They're actually, it's more beneficial to them to wait because they can tank, not play him, and then get a good pick in this loaded draft. And then you can get more in the offseason if they choose to do that. Mm-hmm. That remains to be seen. But that's one way to attack it. And that's a win-win situation. And the other one is giddy up because we're 8 days away if this could get done. So you mentioned the wording, how it's put up at DraftKings. But this is getting interesting here where, Houston's the favorite offshore, but the Knicks are the favorite at DraftKings. And I also think Atlanta has pieces. That would be a good fit. We are just giddy at the possibility of Wemby playing with Freak. And the Spurs are 6-1. But we'll see if the Knicks want to go for this too, because there have been, I don't know what the teams are, but according to reports, there have been aggressive offers. So that's a good thing.
Well, okay, so this is from Brian Windhorst in the last hour. First of all, earlier today, he mentioned the Warriors do indeed have the assets for a Giannis trade. And then JVT was telling me as we crossed over here that Windhorst was saying the offer to beat is going to be the one that the Warriors can put together. Now, to me, this is very beatable. The package would be Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, mid-30s, torn ACL, and some picks.
Oh.
That is extremely beatable.
Yeah.
There are a ton of teams in the NBA. And again, we can't live in a world where Mikal Bridges gets 4 first-round picks, and then we're going to have the scrap heap thrown to Milwaukee for one of the best players we've seen.
Those days are gone, though. But I think
this guy.
If a team makes a mistake, you just can't. It's hard to go back and say, well, look what Gobert went for, even though a team lost their minds. Maybe he winds up in the Mecca. Their offer was floated to be Cat, OG, and I also take back the Kuzma contract. And that Kuzma contract is vile and nasty. It's 4 for $90. Oh, God.
Yeah, the reason why the Knicks are not even on the table for me is because getting OG Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns does literally nothing for me in the future, and you need to build for the future if you're the Bucks. And you think about the picks in the future that they would be getting from New York, those are with Giannis on the team. So where will the Knicks be picking in the first round? 27th? 30th every single year?
Well, do they want to do that? Do you want to totally rebuild? Maybe they just want to be. Look what the Chicago Bulls have been doing for 10 years. Yeah, we'll try to get in that play-in, that 8, 9, 10 seed.
No, thank you.
I mean, that's the Bulls refuse to rebuild.
Yeah, and if you're the Bucks and you accept a deal from the Knicks, that's exactly where you would be. You'd be a fringe playoff team pretty much every single year, and that would clearly not be worth it. Now, Bobby Marks had an amazing breakdown today, and he was ready to rock and roll with this column. You could tell because it dropped pretty much right after the news. But he broke down, I think it was 11 different teams with the chances to land him and what they can offer, and then he rated every single team on a deal difficulty scale out of 1 to 10. Mm-hmm. And so, for example, the Knicks, according to him, it was an 8 out of 10, 10 being the hardest. And he wrote very light on draft assets, heavily into the apron and its financial limitations. And because it is over in the first apron, New York is not allowed to take on more salary than it sends out in a trade. And that would leave the front office with the option of swapping Cat straight up or packaging a combo of Anunoby, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges. But Bridges cannot be traded until February 1st. That's one example. He also said that OKC, long explanation here, that they would be 8 out of 10, a deal difficulty scale. But they have more picks than God.
Yeah.
It's the whole question comes down to, do they want to break up this young core that they have? I think they can approach it any way they want, and you can't blame OKC. If they decide to say, no, we're going to pass on Giannis, even though we had the assets to make it work, I don't think you can blame them for that. Or if they give up 4 picks and a proven guy, you say, okay, they're going to go for it, and they can win, who knows, 2, 3 more. He said, Bobby Marks wrote that the Spurs are a 6 out of 10. But what are we talking about with the Spurs core that you have to give up? Castle, Harper, and picks?
That'd be a lot. I don't know what they're playing good ball, and their future's bright. Maybe they don't want to touch it. I don't blame them if they don't want to do that. The other thing is why they're in a win-win situation is they got blasted last night. They're 3-12 when he doesn't play, and they've been outscored 12 points per 100 possessions.
Yeah, they're a terrible team.
When he's off the floor. Yeah, absolutely. So with a loaded draft, and maybe they could walk into a top 3 pick. Who knows? Stranger things have happened.
How about the Jay Crowder tweet from earlier today?
Forgot about it. Good point.
Yep.
You're running the organization. I forgot all about that. They were 30-13, and they fired their coach. And then they brought in Doc, and they haven't done anything since. So
yeah, Jay Crowder was on that team, longtime journeyman, very good, nice NBA player. So he went back and found the tweet from Woj almost 2 years to the date, January 23rd, 2024, the breaking news that the Bucks were dismissing Adrian Griffin. Jay Crowder quote tweeted and said, "We were 13-30, by the way, to bring in Doc. This is what started the avalanche." I wonder how many other players feel the same exact way.
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate. It looks out like he did a good job. They just didn't like him. Maybe he was too hard on him, and the players revolted. And so even with that record, they said bon voyage. But I also wouldn't put it past one of these owners or GMs to do something silly after what we just watched and witnessed with Luka.
Yeah.
So it's just anything's possible here, and it's juicy now that we're a week away from the deadline.
Well, I would say this, too, because you need to get ahead of this if you want to bet a team in the future market to win the NBA title, because who doesn't want to be on Giannis, whatever team he's going to go to if he does. But again, I'm not rushing out, and I'm not advising anybody to go say, hey, bet the Hawks because they can make it happen. I think the Rockets put.
Yeah, how about that? They're 40-1. Now, would you do that because you just got KD? But the Rockets are 40 at DraftKings. They're the favorites offshore at one book.
Yeah, I think 40-1. Now, here's the thing. Do they want to mess with their young core? Because they got a ton of young talent. But if I'm the Bucks, I say the deal begins and ends with Amen Thompson, and I don't know if the Rockets would be willing to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They got some dudes that they can kick back to Milwaukee, though, including picks, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But Bobby Marks said 7 out of 10 that happened. I would 40-1. Now, if you guys hear about any inside information out there, please let us know. But this can also drop like a hammer, because the Shams tweet last year with the Luka trade, who had that in the world? Not a single human being.
Oh.
So to your point, NBA teams might lose their minds, and it could be the shockwaves that could be felt from this potential trade. It could be a team coming out of nowhere to land them. And also, I'm not running to bet Golden State right now if they're the leaders with Golden State with him.
Yeah, guy off a torn ACL. The Butler, no. Prickly pear, no way. But I don't know how they're looking at it. I don't know if they just want a ton of picks and rebuild, or they want a couple picks and some proven players where they can at least make the fan base happy and they can go out there and maybe make the playoffs or in the play-in. I don't know how ownership's looking at it.
I think the best option might be to wait till the offseason and send him off to Miami. Because you can get a really nice haul from Miami, and I think they'd be a team.
That's right.
Now, how about this? For this year
Probably,
anyway, Paul, there's maybe a chance he doesn't play again this season.
Yes, that's what, And Spears from ESPN said he's played his last game as a Buck.
So how about a Bucks win total under
Yeah, not
right
bad.
now?
Yep.
How many more
Let the
games?
tanking begin too. Yes.
Sure.
Very
Let's pretend all that's accurate. By the way, he self-diagnosed him with that injury. He's like, I'm going to be out about a month.
Yes.
That's what Giannis said. Okay, we'll take your word for it. But let's pretend for a second that Giannis doesn't play another game with Milwaukee this year. How many more games are they going to win? They're pathetic without him.
Yep. No doubt.
They might not win more than 5-6 more games.
The other thing, you could have the information, but you have these eccentric owners, and they could, like I had the information yesterday about Monken. But then again, Haslam kept changing his mind. And then Monken cashes 9-1 today to go to the Browns.
Yeah. Should have been stronger on that yesterday. And I can't believe that we were both told that Monken was probably going to be the guy. Hey, you can get get Kelce, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm looking at 9-1, but then again, Schwartz kept going up. And he was like minus $4, and now he's like, well, the hell with it. You're not going with me. I don't want to be with this organization.
I know, but then you had the information from a guy very close to the situation. We'll hit on a little bit of tonight's card coming up next, and also Super Bowl props. Pauly fired off a bet yesterday that I tailed. It makes too much sense based on the numbers throughout the entire regular season and the playoffs.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Tonight's card here in the NBA, Lakers are playing at the Cavaliers. Evan Mobley is now out for the Cavaliers for, looks like, between 1 and 3 weeks. And the Cavaliers, about a 3-point favorite in this game. Total is 236.5. Is that a big enough number here for these two teams? The way that they can play and how bad the Lakers defense is?
Yeah. But it's interesting that Ramona Shelburne and others who have been covering the Lakers or watching the Lakers just said sometimes for them, because they're so good offensively, they just need a good 5-minute stretch on defense. And that's what happened against Dallas, and that's what happened against the Bulls. So that's what you're going to get out of Ayton night in, night out in the bench, and then when do they decide to maybe lock it down on defense, which has given them some issues here. And they continue this long road trip, but I would expect points in this one. It looks like the Cavs have started to figure things out, but then again, you're going to war with a team that's the worst team, ATS, 18-30 against the spread. It's ugly.
Yep, no doubt. Look at those averages, by the way. The Lakers average 116.3 points per game, and that's exactly what they allow, and they're 28-17 because they were so good in those clutch games to begin the season. And the Cavaliers average 119 points per game. They allow 116.5. Sam Merrill is back tonight.
Yeah.
I thought about playing his 3-point prop, but I'm always a little scared when guys come back after missing time, how many minutes they're going to play. And also, I don't want to pay like $1.50 overall on the juice with that one. How about this? Knicks at the Raptors. Mitchell Robinson is out for New York. Josh Hart questionable last check. New York is on a 10-0 straight up, 1-1 ATS run in this series against Toronto. Raptors lane 1.5 in this game tonight.
Yep.
Total 221.5. You want to take your Knickerbockers here?
I think I could see points in this one, but no, I don't. I need a bigger sample size that they figured this out since the players-only meeting. And Toronto's had a great season. So this one's tough. And back up 1 second, Merrill's on a 13-2 overrun points with the Cavs.
Yeah.
Some good, tremendous numbers today. VSiN.com with the prop analyzer.
What else did you notice? Because I'll give you one here with my guy, courtesy of Zach Cohen here at VSiN. He put me on Cam Spencer last week, especially when John Moran doesn't play. And he was a winner earlier this week. Now they get the Hornets. By the way, Charlotte, sneaky good. Spencer's assist tonight now bumped up to 8.5. Overs plus money. You can ladder all the way up to 14. He had 13 in his last game, and he's at double-digit assist games, 5 games in a row without Ja Morant. 10 plus is plus 152. I looked at him again tonight. I put him on the old docket. I have over 8.5, and I laddered him a little bit as well. The Opta AI stats are calling for only 7.2. Hornets, sneaky under team on the season. 230.5 is a total here.
So Cam is on a 10-1 overrun assists. Siakam is on a 7-0 overrun as well. Points, Marshall's on a 19-4 overrun. Got to go back with him again tonight with the Mavs, how good that guy's been. McBride, 7 in a row over threes. Christie, you've been talking about him off the air, 24-9 overrun threes. Derek White, 7 unders in a row. And Nurkic, what a run this guy's been on. 6 straight overs, points, rebounds, and assists. And he's filling up the box score every night.
Well, he had that stretch where it was at least, 3 straight games with a triple-double, and they were playing him late in the one game to make it 3 in a row. It was a blowout, and they kept him in the game so he could possibly get another one, and he did, and he pulled it off. So other angles I'm looking at tonight as well in the sport. To expand on Christie and Najee Marshall here, Klay Thompson was downgraded to questionable earlier. Flag is also questionable. So Christie's last 4 games from 3 of 6, 8 of 10, 5 of 12, 4 of 10. Also 22, 26, 21, and 24 points. I have a prop on him. I'll tell you about it in a second. And Najee Marshall's last 7 games, 22, 24, 22, 16, 19, 30, and 21 points. If you don't get Klay Thompson tonight, and if Flag doesn't play in the game, like those 2 guys are going to be the catalysts of the entire offense. And with them going over 20 points so often, like hopefully they can both hit. But if one hits, you're still going to make money. I played Christie over 20 points or 20 plus at 2-1. And I played some Najee Marshall 20 plus at plus 155. Again, one gets there. It'll be.
The guy's been good.
Oh, really good.
Under the radar. Yeah. Marshall, got to go with the Marshall props, I think, till you lose.
And Cooper Flag, as of the latest NBA official injury report, he is still questionable in the game.
To me, you can't play a Jazz game under, but on a back-to-back, and now you got a 240 in this Golden State game.
Mm-hmm.
Utah, the number 1 over team in the league, 241.5. But we'll see if, because I'm concerned about the blowout, though. And then you sit people and the game dies in the fourth quarter. And maybe that could happen in the Utah game. And then Spurs and Rockets, so good on paper with this game, the night game on ESPN. Because the Rockets are unbelievable cleaning the glass on the offensive end. But is that going to work? And can you do that against San Antonio? I say no. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's lower scoring and goes under 220.5 tonight on ESPN.
Okay, so here's another player. He's been on fire from deep. Last 5 games, 7 of 11, 6 of 10, 3 of 10, 5 of 9, and 5 of 10. It's Kobe White for the Bulls. They're in action. Over, always shop around. And for those of you in other states where you have access to all these prediction markets, over 2.5 was as low as minus 113 earlier today, as high as minus 158 at a legal sports book. I put a little pizza money tonight on a parlay with Kobe White, Sam Hauser, and Sam Merrill to all hit 3 threes in the game. So they don't want to pay $1.50 or more on any of those guys to do it.
Yep. Celtics seem cheap. What a disappointment Atlanta's been.
I know it.
They're right there with Orlando. At least Orlando has a winning record. But for Atlanta to be under 500, and they were the hot, sexy pick coming into this season, what a disappointment they've been. And to think that, what your seed might be, that's shocking. And I'll tell you, Miami to win the division. Imagine what that paid not that long ago. So Atlanta 23-25, and the Magic only a game over 500 as well.
We talked about this on the latest edition of Pod of the Futures, available now wherever you get your podcast. JVT and I were talking about futures. I brought this up on this show as well in previous weeks. I took some pizza money on Charlotte at 150-1 to win the division.
Oh, wow.
6 back. ER hinted at this yesterday on the show, how good they are. Von Tobel had some incredible numbers on the latest podcast with this team and their lineups. Honestly, they lost 3 straight games at the buzzer like a week and a half ago, which is almost impossible to do. They have lost like 10 games in the final moments this year. Very close games. They'd be in first place by like 3 games if those games were flipped. So I think they're really, really good. But I have them every which way but loose as well. I talked about them 500-1 when they won the Summer League out here to win the division. Also, win total over, division numbers, play-in game. I love the team, so I keep adding more on them. And crazier things have happened. Do I expect that to cash? No, but I think they can certainly be a play-in team.
Yeah, Suns more likely to do it and win the division, or also the Clippers to come all the way back as they won again. So I would go with the Cavs tonight. Fire up the prop analyzer. Great stuff up there at vsin.com. So many guys on great runs. Did you see this bettor lost his big ticket? That was, I think he put it at DraftKings. Luke sent it over. There were 18 Champion League games going on at the same time. He did a $1,000 18-teamer. There wouldn't be a goal scored in the first 2.5 minutes. Arsenal scored 2 minutes in.
No way.
Yeah. It paid like plus 280. I mean, that's not a bad look when you think about it.
Oh, man.
But Arsenal scored 2 minutes into the match, so he lost. Not bad. Wow. That's a pretty good bet. I mean, that's an 18-teamer. Get out of here. It's not a bad payout when you think about it. I mean, how often is a goal scored 2.5 minutes into a soccer match?
No kidding. Was that the only match then where it happened?
Was it 3 minutes, Luke, or 2.5? 3 minutes. Someone scored. Yeah, I think someone scored 3.5 or 3.
Okay.
Man City, I think, scored 4 minutes in something, but that's. I think the Arsenal one's the only one that got it.
Jeez.
I know. Unique.
I don't mind the look. I don't mind that look.
Not bad. Interesting.
I tailed you, by the way, earlier this morning on Travion Henderson's receiving yards prop in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, just need a catch.
That's it. So he's minus 160 to have one catch, but his prop is 1.5 or 2.5 yards. Mm-hmm. Is he going to catch a pass for negative yards or 1 yard? And this thing with the Seahawks, again,
right.
Paul Charchin's breakdown before the Rams game last week on this show was so good. Corum and Williams each went over, and Corum did with the receptions. The Seahawks, in the regular season against running backs, they allowed the most catches out of any team in the NFL, 97. Sixth most yards, only 2 touchdowns, but we're not betting those. We're not betting the touchdowns. I want to actually ladder his catch prop, but I want to ladder his yards prop as well, because like 5 plus is going to be plus money, 10 plus. I haven't seen a book yet with that out yet.
Well, there's more to it as well, and Charch will get into it tomorrow, but his beautiful call last week on Corum. It's also the Patriots' suspect offensive line against a ferocious pass defense, and you just dump it off.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of dump-offs. Little Stevenson, little Henderson, and you could say the same thing for Seattle. A little bit of Walker.
Sure.
Alani, and maybe some short stuff to Shaheed. Who knows? I also saw Cooper Kupp will he have 25 yards in the second half. Was a pretty good price.
In the second half.
Just in the second half. Yeah, that's at DraftKings. That's not bad either.
Yeah, and by the way, the Seahawks, they like to throw to their backs anyway. We saw last week, Walker's the bell cow, and he had, 40-plus yards in the air?
Both quarterbacks could be under pressure, under duress in the game. Dump it off.
Up next, we'll discuss the PGA Tour event this weekend at Torrey Pines. Jeff Sealey's going to join the program. We'll get his best bets with analysis next on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Get some best bets here. Third event on the PGA Tour this week as it goes to beautiful Torrey Pines in the San Diego area. And our buddy Jeff Sealey joins the program now. He is on the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on X at Cupmaker Jeff. And the name of the podcast is also called the Cupmaker Podcast. Jeff, good afternoon. Thanks for the time, pal. How are you?
Great, fellas.
So let's begin with the guy that you're going to start your betting card with this week. It's Ludwig Aubert, who won an event at Torrey Pines last year. It was the Genesis. It was not the Farmers. They moved the Genesis because of the wildfires in Southern California. And so you have enough faith to add him this week? You like what you're seeing out of him?
Yeah, I mean, guys, he was sick last week, and I think that's the only reason. I mean, obviously Xander's good. I think that it had Ludwig not WD'd last week, I think he probably would have opened as the favorite. So he had some sort of illness that made him WD. Maybe he just wanted to get out of there and get ready for this. But, I mean, he's even money to finish top 20, which I've already played. But aside from the Tour Championship at Eastlake, he's gained off the tee and on approach and an insane 10 straight events dating back to last June. Like, that is just a phenomenal run. He putted horribly last year at the Farmers, losing 6 straights on the green en route to a T42 finish, but finished T9 here in 2024, won the Genesis, as you mentioned. So we know he's got it in him. He beat Maverick McNeely, who we'll talk about here in a second, by a stroke of the Genesis. So I'm excited to see him play here again. He's very comfortable here, and I think 17-1 is a fair number.
Okay, you mentioned McNeely. How about some couple guys in the 30-1 range then?
Yeah, so I do like McNeely. I like him again. I mean, he's 32-1. I played him plus 140, top 20 as well. He's got the irons dialed in coming in, and we know he can putt here. He's a California kid, well known. His dad was the founder of Sun Microsystems, and he's coming in off a tune-up at the Sony where he gained across the board. Now we're getting, as I said, this California kid who we know can do it all. Runner-up at the Genesis to Oberg last year, 32-1 or so. I think it's a good number. So I think it'd be fun if we saw a rematch of the two of them on Sunday for sure. And then Hideki Matsuyama, 30-1, plus 130, top 20. He's played this event over 10 times. And the thing with Hideki is you always worry about is the putting. He's had spike putting weeks here, gaining over 5 strokes with a putter in this event 2 of the last 8 times he played here. So he can spike with a putter here. His ball striking's dialed in, gained off the tee and on approach in 4 of his last 4 events. He won the Hero Challenge in December, so the ball striking's there. I trust it'll be there again this week. It's going to come down to a spike putting week, but hey, I'll take if 1 out of 4 times he gets a spike putting week, I'll take that for 30-1 all day long. So I like those 2 guys in that 30-1 range.
All right, let's work our way down the board here a little bit. Nikolai Højgaard is on your card this week at 55-1. You like him top 20 as well. Why?
Yeah, I do, guys. I like him, and I like his brother. I like Nikolai a little bit better, though. 55-1, plus 225, top 20. He had a really good finish in Dubai last week, so finished 4th there, and has 3 more finishes inside the top 15 in 4 of his last 5 events. So the thing is, they say all the time, when you come to this event, you want to come in with form. You don't try and find your form at Torrey Pines. And he's got form, so I'm excited about that. Iron play's been terrific. Gained with the iron in 6 straight events. Finished 2nd here in 2024 when he gained 5 strokes tee to green and only about a stroke and a half putting. So we know he can perform well here. We got a guy who's had a top 5, coming in with great form. I think 55-1 is a very, very fair price, and I'm very interested in that. And then Garrick Higo is 56-1. I played him plus 225, top 20 as well. Had a really good swing season with 4 finishes inside the top 7 in 4 events. Finished T16 a month ago in the Euro Tour, so he also comes in with good form. Also very capable of spike putting weeks, which he illustrated all fall, and he'll need one of those to contend this week. So he's played this event 3 times. Last year's T45 being his best finish. If he carries in the form note he displayed since September, I like him a lot for a top 20 finish, and he could make a run on Sunday. He's won twice on tour, but this would be by far and away his biggest win.
How about some pizza money on your BFF, Koepka?
You know, I was just thinking about that, Pauly. If you can parlay Koepka to win. I just looked at Bet365, for example. They've got Koepka at 75-1. You can parlay Koepka and the Seahawks money line and get 108-1. So there you go. There's maybe if you're gonna play Koepka, maybe there's a piece of money play to do. Now look, I mean, I have 0 expectations of him this week. Honestly, I'd be surprised if he made the cut. To be completely honest with you.
Really?
So a run by him would be fun. I think really more than anything for him, this is just a tune-up for the Waste Management, which we know he's won before, and I think would be pretty exciting. I don't know if you guys saw his comment. The last time the Seahawks and Patriots played in the Super Bowl, he won the Waste Management.
Okay.
So,
good angle.
So he's the one who said it, which I thought was kind of funny. So it's not typically you hear these guys say, but I guess maybe he's trying to hype himself up. We'll see how that works out for him.
Okay, you went to war last week with Sami Välimäki. Is he on the card again this week?
Dude, he is, and his price has only gotten better. You have to hit your long irons well here. Nobody in the field hits their long irons better than Sami Välimäki. He's 175-1 and plus 430 top 20. I mean, he had an off week with his irons last week, guys. It's that simple. First time he lost with his irons in his last 9 events. He gained with the driver last week, so as long as his driver stays in play, I'm going back to the well with him, trusting he can get back on track. We know he can putt here. He's gained an average of 3.5 strokes putting in his last 2 trips, so we know he can putt here. I'm just chalking it up to a bad week last week. If he bounces back, boy, we have an unbelievable price on Sammy. Even top 20 at plus 430 is phenomenal.
All right. So the last 2 weeks, you said Nick Taylor, first round leader, and he finished tied for the first round lead. Last week I said, well, how about Valimaki? And you said, yeah, he's a good candidate for first round as well. And then you said, add on Pearson Coody. So, and he did. He tied for the first round lead as well. Have you bet anybody yet? Do you like anybody for the first round this week?
You know, if we're going to do a first-round bomb this week, the first thing you got to do is you got to make sure you're looking at the North Course, right?
Good
if
point.
you're not playing on the North Course,
address this, please.
You're not going to...
Yeah, can you address this, please? We got several emails on this, because on the menu it says first-round leader, and then the course, please. Yes.
Yeah, so that's the key. So, I mean, if it's two different... They're playing the North Course and the two different courses day one, and then they play the South Course on the weekend. So make sure you're looking at that and you're knowing what market you're betting in. So take Sammy Valimaki for a really good example. If it's just the first round period, like Sammy's playing the North Course, he can go low. He's a good first round leader candidate. Another guy who we all know can go low one round, Will Zalatoris. He's on the North Course. He's another good candidate in that regard. So I don't mind him. But one guy I'm interested in, I'm checking he's played as a South Course first round leader. If you want to take a bomb, Johnny Kiefer, guys. Johnny Kiefer, we talked about him a little bit before. Guy who broke all of Scotty Scheffler's records on the Korn Ferry Tour. Showed up, had a decent weekend this weekend, performed pretty well. I'm interested in him at a long odds on a first round leader on the South Course. I think that'd be a fun dart.
Very good. So we kicked this around a little bit yesterday. We would love to see like a book offer, a prop of, and you could just bet this and roll it over every week if you'd like, but will Scotty Scheffler finish in the top 10 every week this year?
I don't know how he does it, to be honest. I mean, barring injury, I mean, it's crazy. It sounds crazy to say, but I mean, I can't think. I mean, aside from Tiger Woods, I can't think in my lifetime as many good runs as we've seen from golfers. I can't recall anything quite like this. I mean, you know, Jordan Spieth had a run where he was good. DJ had a run. I mean, Koepka had an amazing run in majors, but this is just, it's unbelievable. And like, heck, we had Siwoo Kim last week. Siwoo Kim was the leader going into Sunday, and Scotty blew him out of the water. He blew everybody out of the water. He has a different gear. And it was interesting listening to Blaze Brown, the 18-year-old who played with him on Sunday, was just in awe watching Scotty chip. And he's just so much better at chipping than I am. And it was just really interesting to hear a guy who's, you know, out there playing on tour in the hunt on Sunday in awe of his playing partner who's kicking his butt as they're going down the stretch. So he's a special guy, special talent. As long as he stays out of jail, you know, I think he'll, I mean, I think it'd be very interesting. I might just do that. I might just start rolling it over every week, $100 on Scotty top 10 and see how far it goes.
Why not? Yeah, just avoid either Louisville or, you know, don't be a maniac on the roadways down in that part of the country, and you don't have to go to jail then. You can follow Jeff on X. He's at Cupmaker Jeff. Again, podcast is called the Cupmaker Podcast. It'll return next week for the Waste Management. Thanks, pal. Go get him this week.
Thanks, fellas. Take care.
Harris English, and he joined us, by the way, on the Progressive Guest Line. Harry English won this event last year, 100-1. Matthew Pavon the year before that at 150-1. So bombs have cashed here the last 2 years. You go back to 2022. Luke List at 90-1. So that's 3 out of the last 4 years. Sandwiched in between, Max Homa at 22-1 is the winner. It's a fun tournament, though. I love watching it with the guys who are hang gliding around the area. And then they get the drone shots out there as well. Up next, win some, lose some. Pauly's going to recap the action from last night, and I tell you about a candidate for the worst beat of the college basketball season coming up next.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you
winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
One game in the NBA, the Wizards surprised Portland plus 220 on the money line, and an incredible night in college. Arkansas wins a nail-biter. Michigan State survives in overtime. Virginia survives in overtime, hit a 3 late. The back and forth in the Nebraska-Michigan game. Miami of Ohio had to hang on. St. Louis was down big and hit a 3 with 2 seconds left. And a ton of overtime games in college.
Oh, I mean, we were on the verge last night on the precipice of, as you just rattled off, 5, 6 huge favorites losing outright.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, that was possible. Rhode Island plus 375. Buffalo plus 340. Indiana plus 175. Monken to Cleveland, 9-1. Do you know he was that old? 60?
I did not.
It was 9-1 yesterday at some spots. The new coach of the Browns, and Schwartz also says, that's it, I want out of here.
What do you make of it, by the way?
I think it's a bad hire. Bad hire.
I think nobody wanted the job.
Terrible. That's possible, too. I know. Wild played another over. 15-1 overrun for the Minnesota Wild. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Thanks to everyone who sends them in every day. Look at this. Let's go back to Monday. Manhattan, Central Park, 3 feet of snow. Look at that. When I went to New York, when Rockefeller Center Plaza, whatever, I couldn't believe how big Central Park is. And that also puts it in perspective how big it is. And look at that shot after they got nailed by all that snow.
That is
incredible. Super
impressive.
What a picture that is. Oh, phenomenal. The snow theme. Is this the Burmese, how do you pronounce it? The mountain dog? Yeah. Burmese mountain dog coming out. Will you come in now? Come on. It's time to go to bed. And he's not having any. No. I love the snow. I like it outside. This is so comfortable. Come on in, will you? It's bedtime. And he runs in the other direction about how much I love the snow. And there's so many of these on Instagram. If you check out with everyone getting buried by snow over the weekend, where it's the dog going out and having fun with her, the dog who won't go out because it's so cold to go to the bathroom, or there's several like these of the mountain dog running away saying, I love the snow, I'm not coming in.
The timestamp on that said midnight, by the way.
Yeah? Oh, good. Excellent.
Who knows how long they were trying to get him in. Look at him.
Yeah, running away. You're not going to catch him. Loves it. There was another one where there was 2 of them that was up there on Instagram. This is awesome. The train driver once fed a stray dog, and now he shows up like clockwork every single day. Every day there he is, pulling up with the train, getting ready for the stop, and there's the stray dog, and he's going to follow him all the way down and sprint until he comes to a stop, and he leaves out the little treat for him that he makes for him every single day.
Yeah, they're so smart. It's incredible.
Yeah,
they'll be there same time, same night, every single day, waiting for you.
Yeah,
it's in their biological clocks are amazing.
Great job. Good job by the train driver. Several bad beats. Kings plus 14.5. That was tied in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and the Knicks won by 16. Notre Dame money line. Virginia hit a 3 to force double overtime, where they won. Which they won. Blackhawks blew a 3-0 lead. Minnesota scored late to tie it, 1-4-3. Nebraska, Michigan, over. 50-48 at the half. 27-22 Michigan in the second half. I can't believe that. That totally died.
I had under for the game. It was dead 7 minutes in. Neither team could miss. Nebraska hit 10 threes in the first half, and they only led by 2. The updated live total was 181.5 at halftime. And think about this for a second.
No doubt.
Nebraska's team total, 72.5, stayed under.
0-7 ATS run for Michigan. These are big point spreads. And Massetti, plus 245, up 2 sets to none on Joker. Had to retire due to injury. Joker moves on. Before the line moves, sharp play's already there. January isn't about volume, it's about precision. The playoffs are when limits rise, mistakes shrink, and timing matters more than ever. The AI plays up 50 units, proven insider sources, locked in on the playoffs. They identify where the sharp money hits before the number disappears. Free reports, alerts, and market-moving insights straight to your inbox or X-Feed. They've been at it since 2011. He's been on the show many times. Jeff and the crew do a great job. Documented results, public logs, transparent receipts. Give them a follow. It's a must. Trusted by pros. Sharp plays. .com. Okay, so the outrage continues, and rightfully so. I think I nailed this before we got off the air. I didn't believe Pauly that I voted for Belichick, and then he came out later and said, I'm not 100% what I actually did.
He doesn't remember is what he said.
That's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, then that person, he needs to get eliminated from voting anymore. Something's wrong. You're too old, buddy. You can't possibly tell us that you don't remember if you voted for him or not.
And the big reason why this happened, buffoonery and embarrassment, but anonymous voters. If you had to put your name on it, this never would have happened. And as Armando Salguero said, who presented Belichick in the room, that it's embarrassing and makes the Hall of Fame look bad. And if you voted no, you must stand up and give a reason. Jimmy Johnson, profanity-laced tweet, called the voters bleep holes, and was on with McAfee and was outraged at the Belichick snub.
Well, first of all, I think this tarnishes everything in the Hall of Fame. All of the inductees, everybody in the Hall of Fame, just because of 10 or 11 or 12 ignorant, jealous who did not vote for him. I think it tarnishes everything about the Hall of Fame. As far as if they're using the excuse of the Spygate, before they had the electronic communication between the sideline and the players, everybody was trying to steal signals. A lot of people would not admit to it, but every team had an individual trying to get the signals or doing one thing or another. But there were a lot of teams doing it back then before they put the electronic communication from sideline to the quarterback and the linebackers. And so if they're using that excuse to not put Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame, it is absolutely ridiculous.
Good job, Jimmy.
Yeah, this news broke yesterday live when we were on the air. We lost our minds. We blew gaskets. And for the people who are defending it, by the way, and I've seen plenty of people bring up, a couple of excuses, the quote cheating over the years, and Jimmy Johnson was just trying to poo-poo that as well.
Everyone did it, yeah.
This is just a fact. Knowing who some of these people are, it's personal to them, not professional.
Right.
And so that's no way to look at a Hall of Fame vote at all whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, he didn't treat me well, or he was arrogant.
And he's a total jerk.
That's ridiculous. I know that is, and this you can't prove. It was all Brady, which it wasn't, but Brady gets the nod, no doubt. But
Brady came out. I mean, did you see what he said?
Livid. Brady was good. If I have to pick one coach to go out and win a Super Bowl, I'm picking Belichick, and he's right. He won with Cleveland. He won 11 games with Matt Castle, and he went to the playoffs with Mac Jones. I mean, he was lost without Tom stuff is ridiculous. Yep. And he was one of the best defensive coordinators ever.
So Tom talked to somebody specifically about this leading up to the Hall of Fame vote. So this was not yesterday or last night or today, whatever. This was weeks ago when the person in the media talked to Tom Brady, and Brady went on this. It was like 3 paragraphs that the guy wrote, and it was all a quote or quotes from Tom Brady. And he basically said, he is the reason why I was so successful. And he's the guy who built the culture and made us want to show up and practice and play like we did every single year. And he went on and on and on to explain, without Belichick, the Patriots never would have been that successful. So I think that probably should be a little meaningful here. By the way, Sal Paolantonio on the program in 7 minutes has a Hall of Fame vote. Mm-hmm. So people, the speculation last night on social media were, first of all, the takeaway was it's absolutely Tony Dungy.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's not me saying, again, that's your guess, a lot of other people's guesses.
That's my guess.
Other people were quick to say it's got to be Sal Pal. Sal Pal voted for him.
Sal Pal wouldn't do that.
He was on ESPN today earlier and making the case like, he got my vote. So again, at least 11 of the 50 people who need to vote for him said no. It's a crock.
You imagine if it's a bigger number? I mean, but then you talk to people in the room, and it was they're like, the takeaway was, well, there's no way he's not getting in.
Yeah.
Even though you can bring up Spygate, but then for at least 11 people to do this, it's an abomination.
So I'm guessing that these closeted voters then were super quiet as a mouse in these meetings.
You got to stop this now. You
can't
the room?
Do
it. You can't do this. It's Herm Edwards. Put your name on it.
Yeah, it was
you can't have anonymous ballots.
So it was. Here's my guess then. Knowing what we know right now, it was all pro Belichick in the room, according to people.
Yeah.
Right? And just
it was like what happened to Mark Davis.
And the people who were anti-Belichick were afraid to say anything.
Yes, it's what happened to Mark Davis. He thought he was getting that team in L.A., and every owner in the room was saying, great idea, we got it. And when the vote came, it was Chargers.
Yeah,
and then he got stuck. He thought the whole time it was going to be Rams and Raiders, and they voted against him after they lied to his face.
All right, so we'll talk to Hall of Fame voter Sal Paolantonio coming up next. Where was the push against Belichick amongst other Hall of Fame voters? Got to ask him next.